Hello students, I am Jaya Bhuneshwari, Assistant Professor Physics, Department of Science and Humanities, CK College of Engineering and Technology. Already we have discussed about the torsion pendulum experiments in the previous session. Now we are going to discuss about the Young's modulus experiment to determine the Young's modulus of the material of the beam. In this video session we are going to discuss how to determine the Young's modulus of the material of the beam by the method of non-uniform bending. So before going to do the experiment, we should know certain things regarding this uniform bending. First we should know what is the aim of the experiment. So this is the aim of the experiment. The aim of the experiment is to determine the Young's modulus of the given beam by the method of non-uniform bending. For doing this experiment we need some requirements. So these are all the apparatus we need. First one, travelling microscope. Using travelling microscope only we are going to calculate the depression produced in the scale, right? And given beam, here we take the scale as beam and one small pin, screw gauge to measure the thickness of the scale, and using vernier caliper we can measure the breadth of the scale, and weight hangers and slotted weights, thread and wax. So these things we need to do the experiment, and this is the formula used to find the Young's modulus of the material of the beam. Y is equal to, Y is the Young's modulus. We are using the capital Y. M is a mass, mg cube divided by 4bd cube y, and this small y mentioned the depression produced in the scale. So m is the load applied and g acceleration due to gravity, and L is the distance between two knife edges, B is the breadth of the beam, D is the thickness of the beam, and Y is the depression produced in the beam. And moving to the theory part, we already know what is modulus of elasticity. It is nothing but stress by strain. The ratio between stress and strain gives the modulus of elasticity. Already we know there are three types of modulus of elasticity. One is Young's modulus, second one is the rigidity modulus, and third one is the bulk modulus. And now we are going to find out the Young's modulus, and this is the formula to find out the Young's modulus: linear stress divided by linear strain. So in Young's modulus, lengthwise only changes happens, so we are using the linear stress here and linear strain here. And linear stress, how to calculate? Nothing but force by area, and linear strain, the change in length divided by original length produced. So this is the linear strain produced, and by seeing this diagram, you can easily understand how much the length increase. So this is the original length of the material is equal to L naught. After applying the force, it extended up to this end. So this is the original length and this is the new length. Ln is the new length and L naught is the original length. Then how much is the increase in length? If you subtract Ln minus L naught, you get the increase in length. So this is the strain produced. So by this way we can calculate the Young's modulus of the material of the beam. So to find out the Young's modulus, we have two types of methods. One is the uniform bending method, another one is the non-uniform bending method, and this is the diagram for uniform bending and this is the diagram for non-uniform bending. We should know what is the difference between uniform and non-uniform bending. By two methods we can calculate Young's modulus. What is the difference is, in uniform bending we put the weights on both sides. Equal weights are put on both sides of the beam so that this beam bent like this, right? So in uniform bending elevation is produced. What happens in the non-uniform bending? Only at the center we apply the load so that the depression produced here, the scale bent like this in the downward direction. So here we note it as a depression. Here elevation produced, here depression produced. That is the only difference between uniform bending and non-uniform bending. But in our syllabus in practical we have the non-uniform bending method only. So this is the experimental setup for non-uniform bending. And this is the schematic diagram for non-uniform bending. So this is the original position of the scale. After applying, so here we fix one pin. After applying the load, what happens? This much bending happens. and this is the depression produced. This is the original position and this is the depressed position. So this is the depression produced. So we have to calculate how much depression produced in the scale by applying the weight using the travelling microscope, right? And this L is the distance between two knife edges. And in the field of view, you can able to see like this. By seeing through the telescope, in travelling microscope we have one telescope. On seeing through the telescope, in the field of view, you have two cross wires, one vertical cross wire and one horizontal cross wire. So before applying the load, by using some screws, we have to fix the pin exactly coincide with the midpoint of the horizontal and vertical line. At this point, we make the pin to fix at this point before apply the load. What happens after apply the load? By applying the load, the pin, by the depression, due to depression, how can we analyze the depression? The pin goes up, the scale depressed so that the pin goes up. So again you use the screws, make the screw, make the pin exactly coincide with the midpoint, you take the reading. So in the field of view, you can see like this. Okay. Now what is the need and importance of Young's modulus? Why we do this experiment? What is the need to do the experiment? So much of applications are there for Young's modulus. So it is a useful property to know the behavior of the materials. So what's the materials behavior we can analyze, whether it is a soft material or strong material or ductile material. So these things we can analyze by find out the Young's modulus. For civil engineering side, it is very useful one concept. Using in the construction side, buildings, bridges, vehicles, everything, we can calculate the Young's modulus first and then only we can arrange the bridge, buildings, etc., etc. Since in some places we need material having high Young's modulus, in that place we use that high Young's modulus materials. So in the selection of materials also we can use the Young's modulus. So it plays a very important role, vital role in the civil engineering side. And Young's modulus is important in doctors and scientists also. This concept, this constant is very, very important. Since if a doctor using some surgical materials, means that surgical materials, how long it perform, how long we can use, by analyzing the Young's modulus only we can analyze how long we can use that particular surgical material. So in that case also it is very, very important, and it is a measure of resistance of the material also. So a stiff material have a high Young's modulus, very strong material have a high Young's modulus. For example, we can say diamond. And flexible material having low Young's modulus. So rubbers, these materials having very low Young's modulus. So some cases we need high Young's modulus material. In some cases, in some applications, we need the low Young's modulus materials. So we can choose the material according to the applications. So because of this much of application, we need to do this experiment and need to calculate the Young's modulus is very, very important. Okay, now we will do the experiment. Now we will see how to do the experiment. So this is the Young's modulus by non-uniform bending experimental setup. In this we have two knife edges. The scale whose Young's modulus to be measured is placed over these two knife edges at a distance 20 from this side and 20 from that side. So the distance between these two knife edges will be equal to 60 centimeters. In this scale we fix one pin at the center in order to measure the depression. And how to measure the depression? Using the travelling microscope, and this is the travelling microscope. In this we have two scales, one vertical scale and one horizontal scale. So now we are going to measure the depression only up and down, so that we are using the vertical scale, don't use that horizontal scale. So in this we have two scales, one is main scale and this is the vernier scale. In main scale we have 0 to 15 divisions, 15 centimeters, and in vernier scale we have 50 divisions, not readings, just 50 lines are there. So how to take the readings? First, to record the main scale reading, you have to find out zero coincidence of vernier scale on the main scale. So this is the way you have to find out the main scale reading. And how to find the vernier scale coincidence? Out of 50 lines, only one line exactly coincide with the main scale. You have to find out which line. If it is a first line, second line, third line, or fifth line, or 20th line, or 40th line, you have to find out which line exactly coincide with the main scale. So this is the way you have to find out the main scale reading and vernier scale. Now we'll bring any weights, you focus the pin, and in the field of view you get the inverted image of the needle, right, like this. And first you put the weight hanger alone. This is equal to 50 grams. Just you put W for this. So its weight is equal to W which is equal to 50 grams. This weight is equal to 50 grams. Now the pin not in focus, it is out of focus. So I have to adjust this screw and make the needle exactly coincide at the horizontal line. Okay, it comes at the horizontal line. Now the reading will change. Again you take the reading. So zero coincidence on the main scale, it's around 8.5. This is the main scale. And out of 50 lines, using some lens, you find out which line coincide with the main scale. Now it comes around 20th line coincide. So the first reading 8.5 and vernier scale coincidence equal to 20. So likewise we have to add one by one 50 grams weights. Again you adjust this screw, make the needle exactly coincide with the horizontal line. Again you take the reading. Now it's around 8.4. Again you put one more weight. Again take the reading. Likewise in steps of 50 grams you add the weight. Every time you adjust this screw and take the reading. So this is the loading part. So loading part over. So this is W plus 50, W plus 100, W plus 150 and W plus 200. Up to W plus 200 we had finished the readings. So this is loading part. The unloading part also we have to do. Every time remove one weight and note the reading. First you note the reading for W plus 200, the same reading will get. So write the same reading. Remove one weight. Again you adjust this, more or less we get the same reading, slight differences only come. Again you adjust this screw, make the pin coincide with the horizontal line and note the reading. So in steps of 50 grams you remove the weight like this. Every time you adjust the screw and note the reading in the tabular column. Right. So loading part and unloading part over. So using this we can calculate the depression produced in this scale. And two more parts in this experiment. We have to find out the thickness of this scale using the screw gauge and breadth of the scale using vernier caliper. So we take one screw gauge. So using screw gauge you have to find out the thickness of the scale. So before using screw gauge you have to find out what is the error and what is the correction in it. If this line, this horizontal line and zero of the head scale exactly. So before using screw gauge you have to find out what is the error and what is the correction in it. If this is called a reference line and this line and zero of the head scale exactly coincide on the same line, there is no error. But in all our screw gauge we have some minor errors are there. In this screw gauge somewhat the 8th line coincide with this. So before going to measure the thickness of the scale using screw gauge, you have to find out what is the error and correction in the screw gauge. If this reference line and zero of the head scale exactly lies on the same line, there is no error. But in all our screw gauges we have some minor errors. See in this screw gauge 8th line only coincide with the main scale division. So 8 divisions errors are there. So if the zero is in the above reference line, it is a negative error, and 0 lies below the reference line, then it is a positive error. Now we get a negative error. So according to that we have to find out the correction. So 0 point plus minus 0.08 is your error and plus 0.08 your correction. So after that you take out the scale. Fix the screw gauge at 2 or 3 places like this. Fix the screw gauge like this and find out the PSR and HSD values. So this is PSR value. Here we get 5 and HSD value around. So the PSR reading we get 5 and HSD exactly above this line we get 23. So we note it in the tabular column. So repeat the same thing in 2 or 3 places like this. PSR reading, there is no change in PSR reading, slight changes maybe happens in the HSD divisions. Okay, you see like this 4 or 5 readings you take and remove the screw gauge. Using vernier caliper we have to find out the breadth of the scale. So regarding vernier scale, this is main scale and this is vernier scale. In vernier scale we have only 10 lines and in main scale you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to some 15 centimeters. If these two zeros exactly lies on both same line, there is no error. In all our vernier scales these two zeros lies on the same line only, so there is no error. Now we can take the, we will start take the readings. So fix the here also the same procedure. So MSR you have to find out the zero coincidence of vernier on the main scale. So the 0 lies 2.6, in between 2.6 and 2.7. So you have to take the lowest reading. So the MSR is equal to 2.6 and out of 10 lines only one line exactly coincide with the main scale reading. For me the 6th line exactly coincide with the main scale. So this is the reading. Main scale reading 2.6 and vernier scale coincidence, not reading, coincidence it is 6. Likewise you fix it on 2 or 3 places and find out the reading and enter the readings in the tabular column. We can easily calculate the breadth of the scale. We will move to the calculation part, how to calculate Young's modulus, and this is the first tabular column to find the depression produced. So this is the least count of travelling microscope is equal to 0.001 into 10 power minus 2 meters, and this is the tabular column to find out the depression. So in first column load and second column microscope reading, we segregate into 2 columns, loading 1 column and unloading 1 column. In loading we have 3 columns. So first one is the main scale reading, another one is the vernier scale coincidence, and third column is the total reading. Similarly for unloading also, the first column main scale reading, second column vernier scale coincidence, not reading, it's a coincidence, and third column total reading. And this is the mean value. We take the average for TR1 and TR2, that is adding these two divided by 2 we get this column, and finally this column how much depression produced we can measure using this column. Okay, so first reading W without adding any weight, this is W. So W equal to the first reading 8.5, main scale reading 8.5, vernier scale coincidence 20. How to take main scale reading? The vernier coincidence of 0 on the main scale, it is a main scale reading. So the 0 coincidence of vernier scale exactly coincide in the 8.5 division. So we take main scale reading as 8.5. And vernier scale coincidence, how to take the vernier scale coincidence? Out of 50 lines, there is only one line exactly coincide with the main scale reading. Here the 20th line exactly coincide with the main scale reading, so that I put 20, and this is total reading. Multiplying this by 0.001 by the least count and adding these two, you get 8.52. That is 20 into 0.001, and that value must be added with this one, so that you get the total reading. So 8.52 is the total reading for the first reading. So second reading, by adding one more weight 50 grams, what happens? The pin just above the horizontal line. Again make the pin to coincide with the center point and take the reading. It comes, since depression produced, the scale depressed, so that the readings reduced from 8.5 to 8.4. Again the coincidence I get 20. So this vernier scale coincidence may be same reading, we get nothing wrong. So again I get the 20th line exactly coincide with the main scale reading. So I calculate 8.42 as the total reading. Likewise, add one more weight W plus 100, I get 8.3, coincidence 40, and total reading 8.34. And W plus 150, the reading is 8.25, only 0.5 difference I get, and 26th line coincide with the main scale, and the total reading is equal to 8.27. And W plus 200 again reduced 8.25 to 8.2, and the main scale vernier scale coincidence I get 48, so 8.248. So likewise we can calculate the total reading. Similarly for unloading also, what is the meaning of unloading? Here W plus 200, for W plus 200 this is the reading, I put 8.2 here, I check the vernier scale coincidence, it comes around 38. Okay, again remove one weight, again you check the reading, the main scale reading mostly not changing, maybe minor changes occurs in the vernier scale coincidence only, here 26, here 42. And again remove one weight and get the reading for W plus 100 and W plus 50 and W. So in this way you write the readings and find out the total reading, likewise in the loading part. How to take the mean reading? Already I explained. Adding these two divided by 2, we get the average. You get 522 here. Similarly for all the readings, you calculate the mean value. Then how to calculate the depression produced? You successively subtract the reading. This reading you subtract, you get this value. Again this reading and this reading you subtract, you get this value. Again this reading and this reading you subtract, you get this value. Again these two readings you get this value. So if you have 5 readings here, you get only 4 readings here, right? Since successively we have subtract, so we get only 4 readings. Take the average of these 4, gives the depression produced, y is equal to 0.069 into 10 power minus 2 meters. The first part over. Then, so this is to find out the thickness of the beam by screw gauge. So least count is equal to 0.01 into 10 power minus 3 meters. And first we have find out the what is the error and correction. So in this particular screw gauge, the error is minus 0.08 and the correction equal to plus 0.08. This is the tabular column for screw gauge. In the first column, we have to find out the pitch scale reading. In second column, H scale coincidence. And third column, observed reading. How to calculate observed reading? PSR plus HSD into least count. And last column, corrected reading, observed reading plus or minus 0 correction. So first we take the PSR reading, it is equal to 5. So PSR reading not changing, always if the first reading is 5, always 5. So we put 5, 5, 5 in the all 4 columns. Maybe changed in the HSC reading. HSC may be changed, or suppose you get the same reading, it is nothing wrong. So first reading I get 5 and 76th division exactly coincide with the reference line. And second reading 574, third reading 572 and 575. So again calculate the observed reading, it comes around 5.76, 5.74, 5.72 and 5.75. Adding 0.08 to this answer, we get this answer 5.84, 5.82, 5.8 and 5.83. So the average adding all 4 and divided by 4, we get the thickness of the scale D equal to 5.82 into 10 power minus 3 meters. And this is the tabular column to find out the breadth of the beam by using the vernier caliper. So vernier caliper also the least count is equal to 0.01. The power is equal to 10 power minus 2. So since the screw gauge is in millimeter, so that we get 10 power minus 3 meter, and vernier caliper the scale is in centimeter, so that we get 10 power minus 2 meters here. The same tabular column. So first column main scale reading, second column vernier scale coincidence, and observed reading how to calculate MSR plus VAC into least count, and corrected reading observed reading plus or minus 0 correction. So regarding vernier caliper there is no error, so there is no correction. So how much we get in this column, we just copy down in this column, very easy. So the MSR value main scale reading is equal to 2.6 first reading, and vernier scale coincidence out of 10 lines the 6th line exactly coincide with the main scale reading, so that I put 6. By calculating observed reading we get 2.66, again 2.66. So second reading, here also these main scale reading having no change, so put all 2.6. Here may be changed or you get the same reading, nothing wrong. So first I get 6, second 8, 6, 8. So 2.66, 2.68, 2.66, 2.68. Again the same reading, take the average, it comes the breadth of the scale is equal to 2.67 into 10 power minus 2 meters. So second part also over. Now we are going to do the calculation. Before that we list out the observation. What we observed, just list out. Mass is equal to 50 into 10 power minus 3 kg. Since we are adding 50 grams in every step, so that m is equal to 50. And g, it's a constant equal to 9.8 meter per second square. L is the distance between two knife edges equal to 60 into 10 power minus 2 meters. Breadth, by using vernier caliper we find out 2.65 into 10 power minus 2 meters, and D is the thickness of the scale, we can calculate using the screw gauge, it's around 5.9 into 10 power minus 3 meters. And small y, depression produced in the scale, we can calculate, already we calculate 0.069 into 10 power minus 2 meter, and this is the formula to calculate the Young's modulus. Y is equal to mg L cube divided by 4bd cube y. So substitute all the values. 50, it is a m value, this is g value, this is L, and 4 divided by 4, this is breadth, and this is thickness, this is depression produced. So multiplying all the numerator, you get this value into 10 power minus 9, adding all the powers, here minus 3, here minus 6, so minus 6 minus 3 minus 9. Here calculating this, we get 145 into 10 power minus 13. You bring this minus 13 to the numerator, it becomes plus 13. Dividing these two values, you get this value. Already 10 power minus 9 is there. So by bringing 10 power 13 to the numerator, it will come 10 power 13. So minus these two 10 powers, you get 10 power plus 4. This value into 10 power 4. So rearranging this one, so y is equal to 0.73 into 10 power 10. 6 digits you change here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So adding here, so 0.73 into 10 power 10. So this is the Young's modulus of the material of the beam. So Young's modulus also, it's a constant value, it's differ for different materials. We are using wooden scale. For wood it comes around, the constant value comes around 1 into 10 power 10. Now we arrived almost nearer to that value, 0.73, it is a correct value. Finally we write the result. So Young's modulus of the material of the beam y is equal to 0.73 into 10 power 10 Newton per meter square. Hope you understand the video. Hope you understand this experiment. Thank you. Thank you for watching the video.